No, 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 no. Oh, he tried it.
I think the intro says everything, basically, on how this race went. That was everything I expected and some. I think the title's true. I mean, that's my opinion on the race. The title of the video, I think it's true. That is the funniest race I've ever seen. That was hilarious. The amount of things that happened during that race. If you guys have it DVR'd, you haven't watched it yet, or you want to watch it again or anything, I highly recommend doing that. That was hilarious. Well, let's talk about it. So let's start at the beginning. What happened first? There were so many things that happened. Let's start with Eric Jones, because Eric Jones was the first playoff guy that ended up getting knocked out. It was because of this turn one restart wreck, which turn one is absolutely wonderful at the Roval. And just absolute chaos hanging in turn one. Jones doesn't hit the wall particularly hard, but I think it punched a hole in the radiator, and obviously that's going to end your day. So his day's done, but Bowman can continue on, Jimmy can continue on, Denny can continue on. Those guys are all good to go. So that was the first main incident. Up towards the front, Chase Elliott is on his way and making his way up towards the front. William Byron, who qualified on pole, did what Chad Knaus was supposed to do, and basically, I'm going to get you the points. So stage one and stage two, William Byron. Oh, not really for stage two. So in both stages, a caution came out. I think second stage was 9 to go. First stage was only about 5 to go. And the way that played out in the first stage, Knaus kept Byron out. However, Byron did not win the stage. The other competitors that he's competing with ended up winning the stage. So Kyle Larson won the stage. Clint Boyer ended up finishing second, which is what he needed for points. Byron ended up third. But all three of those guys who need points, they do exactly what they need to do. And then second stage, William Byron actually pits along with the guys who are running for the win. So he'd be set up for the final stage a little bit better, which was the smart call. And I think when Byron pitted in the second stage, he was still in the top 10. So, well, actually, no, he was like right outside the top 10. I'm not entirely sure if he got points in that stage. I think he did. But at that point, he was just setting himself up for the final stage. And with everything going on around him, with what was going on with Alex Bowman, who was just absolutely having a chaotic first half of this race, what was going on with Kyle Larson, who actually went a lap down after stage one for having a penalty of working outside, or the pit crew working outside the pit box, and that's a 1 lap penalty. So he went a lap down, had to get the caution to get back on the lead lap. So Byron was fine. He was actually in a pretty decent position. Chase Elliott wins stage 2 with a miraculous kind of run through and on fresh tires, and it showed that he had the fastest car. Every time he got to the lead, he pulled out to a 3-second lead, literally within like a lap and a half. I mean, that guy was flying, which is not a surprise because, as you guys know, Elliott at road courses, he's becoming one of the best road course racers, or he probably is right now the best road course racer in NASCAR, with what he does at the Glen, what he does at Sonoma, and what he does here at the Roval. So he's been doing very, very well. However, the first incredibly funny part of this race, as you guys saw in the intro, was him doing his best Brad Keselowski impression and going straight into the turn one wall. Surprisingly, this doesn't damage the car a lot. The splitter is fine, the radiator fine, the nose of the car fine, the grill fine. Just the hood got pumped up a little bit, and they had to just knock it down a little bit. Fenders are good. He hit the wall square, and he goes on his way, and he restarts 37th with about 45 laps to go, and drives his way up to 5th with about 25 laps to go. So in 25 laps, or 20 laps, sort of, he gains 32 spots at the Roval, and then the caution comes out. I'm not going to touch too much on this for now, but the cautions were just, there was a ton. If you guys look at the stats, a ton of cautions. Some of them not really cautions. At road courses, as you guys know, full course cautions could be different from a local caution. Like if there's a wreck in turn one, doesn't that mean that a full course caution has to be applied? If there's like a spin down the back straightaway, it does not mean that a full course caution has to be applied. You guys see this at the Glen, you guys see this at Sonoma. But NASCAR treated the Roval very, very differently today. We'll talk about that later, but a lot of these cautions were single car spins, and it wasn't necessarily a caution, but for the entertainment value, NASCAR throws out the caution. If NASCAR later comes out and says that is not the reason that they threw out these yellows, they are lying to you. They're probably not going to touch on it. It is as blatant as day that, you know, they just wanted more entertainment. It's okay. This is the funniest race in NASCAR history, and I loved it. So I'm not complaining, or I'm just saying, if we want to be truthful and honest here, during this race, NASCAR was very, very manipulative with the cautions. On the final lap, part of it makes this the funniest race ever. I'm going to jump forward a little bit, but on the final lap, Suarez got T-boned. I don't know, he had a massive damage to his car. No caution. It's just like, what? And that's just how the race went, man. It was just, you didn't know when a caution was coming out. If you're a hardcore racing enthusiast, that's going to bother you a lot. You for this race, you had to accept that everything about hardcore racing just doesn't apply here. Other than, you know, the road course being incredibly freaking hard and you have to really drive it. But in terms of, like, full course cautions, what's not a caution, yeah, just throw that out the window. That we didn't know. Anyways, back to the race. When that caution came out with about 25 to go for a single car spin, I think it was Chris Buescher actually in the single car spin, but just a single car spin somewhere on the track. Caution comes out, and then from that point on, restart caution, restart caution, restart caution, restart caution, restart caution, restart caution, restart caution. I have no idea how many cautions were in the final 25 laps. It was a ton. I think every 2 laps there was a caution. It was crazy. Bunch of spins, this massive wreck here towards the end of the infield section with Newman involved and Hamlin involved and everything going on there. Alex Bowman, who's at one point, you know, running in the back the whole race and trying to fight his way back, with 25 laps to go, he's running like, I don't know, he pits and gets fresh tires, and he's running like somewhere 15th, 20th. He's up towards the top 5. Ryan Newman, who's getting involved in all these wrecks and just trying to make his way through, is towards the back, but he's like on a cut line of like -1, -2 points, or +1, +2 points to Alex Bowman. Eric Almirola is also back there in the mayhem, and he's like -8, looking a little bit worse, as Bowman, who has fresh tires, is starting to catch the leaders and starting to get up into the top 5. And Chase Elliott, who's up there, is trying to catch the leaders. He has a faster car than Truex and Harvick, who's up there with him. And Elliott takes over the lead with 5 to go. Bowman gets into second with 5 to go. And at this point, it looked like Newman had a 1-point gap on Bowman. Bowman's running second, so he either has to win to gain that 1 point, or Newman has to lose a spot. Eric Almirola is behind Ryan Newman, battling for whatever position they are battling for back in the pack. And then Almirola messes up, and he kind of gives Newman a little bit of a gap, but Almirola's on fresher tires than Newman. So Newman's still trying to battle, and 2 laps to go, Ryan Newman blows the chicane, and there was a lot of controversy with the chicane blowing, basically. But I just said chicane blowing. Oh, no, that's going to be... Yeah. But anyways, he blows the chicane, and... Oh, God, I'm 22 years old. Jesus Christ. He blows the chicane, and he didn't blow by a lot. I mean, the left side tires was, you know, a little bit off, but it's a penalty. And the penalty, it's not like an F1 or in most open wheel where it's like you give back the time you gained, or, you know, that's how it kind of works. In NASCAR, what they were doing was it's a stop and go penalty, clear as day. Like if you miss any part of the chicane, no matter if you're hit there, spun there, whatever, stop and go penalty. And so Newman with 2 laps to go has to do a stop and go penalty. He never did it, but I'm pretty sure that meant he got DQ'd. I haven't looked at the final results yet. I will in a second, but I'm pretty sure he got DQ'd. But at that point, Almirola got passed, and Bowman is to the good. Almirola still had to gain 6 spots. It wasn't going to happen with 2 to go. As long as caution didn't come out for Suarez getting T-boned, everything was good, and Bowman advances to the round of 12. Byron, Boyer, Blaney, all safe. Ryan Blaney had a hell of a day. We'll talk about it more a little bit and when we get to the race results, but for a second, he didn't look like he was going to make it through with something maybe broken on the left rear of the car, but he's fine. And in the end, after all the wrecks and the bumps and bangs and everything that went on, and Bubba Wallace at the end of the race cooling off, Alex Bowman for an incident that happened earlier on the race where Bowman just literally took him out for flipping him off, apparently, lap after lap. So Bowman was just like, all right, F you, you're going to go into the wall. And then Bubba retaliated after the race with a little water throwing thingy. I don't know what that was. He kind of just threw water and walked away. When I joke about wanting drivers to throw hands, this isn't necessarily what I mean. Like, if you want to have a conversation with them and then start fisting cuffs and stuff, but Alex Bowman was already on the ground, and he's gasping for air, and you can talk to him for a good amount of time there, and not many words were said, and he just kind of threw water at him and walked away as quickly as he could right after, and Yeah, that's not really it, Chief. That doesn't look good. But the emotion, you love to see it. This is why the Roval was a cutoff race. This is why the Roval was invented. This is not for pure racing purposes. This is for absolute 100% entertainment. That is what this race is about. That's why it's placed where it is in the playoffs. That's why we have the playoffs. That's why we have a 4-person race at Homestead. That's why this race is invented. That's why this track is invented, for absolute chaos. And that's why NASCAR manipulated the cautions today, and you got entertainment. The funniest race in NASCAR history, by far. I was dying when I saw Suarez on the front straightaway and NASCAR didn't throw the caution. That was the first time in a while I legitimately just laughed out loud at what was happening on track. I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was insanely funny. But in the end, Chase Elliott comes back at the end of the race, drives his way from 37th up to the top 5, gets a ton of restarts, so he gets to kind of keep the pack together. He had the fastest car. It wasn't even close. That car was on rails. Chase Elliott's one of the best road course racers out there as well, and he overtakes Truex, he overtakes Harvick easily. I mean, this guy was just passing guys like it was no big deal. That was one hell of a car. He wins at the Roval, gains 6 playoff points on the day because he won stage 2, and that will help him heading into the round of 12 and then the very, very key round of 8. Now, I have the unofficial race results in front of me. I don't know if these are official, but where I'm looking right now, it does show Ryan Newman at 32nd place, so I'm guessing this is the right standings because Newman did get a black flag and eventually, I guess, lost those laps that, didn't get counted. And so he was running around 13th or something, and he drops all the way back. So the unofficial race results, Elliott, Bowman, Harvick, Boyer, Keselowski round out your top 5. Keselowski was actually on fresher tires with Bowman. I thought Keselowski might have won the race because he was right behind Chase Elliott with about 10 to go. And he just didn't get the right restart. Bowman got around him, and then Bowman was the new guy on freshest tires, and then neither of them could catch Elliott because Elliott was just so good on these restarts. Not necessarily turn 1, but when you head into the infield section, it's kind of like turn 3, 4, 5, 6, all those right-handers, he was magnificent, and he was able to hold everyone off and control the race from there. William Byron in 6th gets a really good result. Again, I want to see Byron in a road course race where he runs this strategy with all the others, because right now in these road course races he's losing track position from the start after stage 1 because he's taken the points. That happened at Sonoma, happened here at the Roval, and you kind of want to see him when he qualifies on pole and he's running up towards the front. He looks really strong. Can he maintain that? I think the difference we saw between Byron and Elliott is obviously Elliott lost track position. He only had 45 laps to go, and he was restarting 37th. But Elliott has that experience and that know-how to drive his way through the field. And that's what we haven't seen from Byron yet. William Byron, it's not just a road course thing. This is a every race thing where he qualifies really well, and once he loses that track position, he can't get it back. So that's something he has to learn, but I will still like to see, hopefully at the next road course race, whether, I don't know where it is next year. I'm pretty sure it's still Sonoma is the next road course race. But when that happens hopefully it doesn't happen. Hopefully he can just always maintain that track position by not pitting, by pitting at the end of the stage and then continuing on, and we can see, can he maintain that track position? Can he battle the best guys up towards the front, and can he win? Because I feel like that a road course is one of Byron's strengths, and he just kind of, I feel like that might be where a win comes. Truex in 7th, Blaney in 8th. Incredible recovery by Ryan Blaney. Incredible. I mean, that was a great job by him. Jimmy Johnson had a heck of a race. He finished 9th. Logano all over the place, different strategies in 10th. Matt DiBenedetto had a pretty quiet day. He was in the mix of everything, but he didn't really get involved in anything. So quiet day, finishes 11th. Michael McDowell, great run for him, finishes 12th. Underrated driver. Kyle Larson in 13th, was a lap down at a point of the race, comes back. He's into the round of 12. Beautiful. Eric Almirola is out. He's eliminated. He's in 14th. Ty Dillon, 15th. Paul Menard, 16th. Stenhouse, Buescher, Hamlin, Kurt Busch round out the top 20. Kurt Busch, miserable day. Never really battled towards the front. Miserable day. He's out of the playoffs. Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, Austin Dillon, Bubba Wallace, Matt Tifft, Parker Kligerman, LaJoy, and the rest of the field that has Newman, Suarez, Kyle Busch, and Eric Jones. The 4 that are eliminated, Eric Jones, Ryan Newman, Eric Almirola, and Kurt Busch are the 4 guys that are eliminated. Everyone else goes through, and it was an insane race. Kyle Busch there at the end in 37th, he actually had a flat left front tire because he was 3 wide with, I think, Newman and someone else there, and contact was made to cut the left front tire. He went a few laps down. He was about 3 laps down, and when the red flag came out to clean up some stuff after all the restarts with 8 laps to go, he literally just could not be bothered. He went backwards on track, drove it into the garage. I was like, this is pointless. I'm just gonna go home. And so that's what he did. He just left and went home. So again, another little detail into this race that really, this is the funniest race in NASCAR history. So many little things happen that are hilarious. Big things happen. The leader literally driving off into the wall and then coming back to win the race. And I mean, it's incredible scenes. I have the points in front of me, and I'll show it to you guys as well. Here are the points heading into the round of 12. Very important to look at the playoff points. So Kyle Busch still up top. I would say still safe to get into the round of 8. Truex, Hamlin, Logano, Harvick, Keselowski, Elliott, Larson, Bowman, Blaney, Byron, and Bowyer. The real cutoff here is right underneath Elliott. As you can see, there's a massive gap between Elliott and Larson. 18 points there in terms of playoff points. Everyone from Elliott, Keselowski, Harvick, Logano, Hamlin, Truex, and Busch, they have a pretty good buffer. So that's 20 points worth. That's basically 2 stages worth in case you have a bad race or something. That's your gap. So we'll see how that goes. And the 3 tracks, I think Kansas, actually no, I think Dover will be the most normal race out of all of them. And then obviously Talladega, and then Kansas as well. I think Talladega and Kansas will be crazy because Kansas, with the top lane really coming in, the pack racing, I think that will be crazy. I think Dover will be one of the more normal races. And so we will see how this is for these 3 races. Maybe someone I'm worried about heading into the round of a 12 here would be someone, I would say, like, I don't want to say Kyle Busch because I've seen him struggle at the plate races a little bit. I think the gap is big enough. But I don't know. Maybe Kyle Busch might struggle here a little bit. I think William Byron might struggle here a little bit, and Clint Bowyer as well. But I think I think Alex Bowman can have a really strong run here because I feel like he can run well at Talladega. He can run well at Kansas. Dover, I'm not so sure about, but I feel like Talladega and Kansas he can really run well. So that might be really good for him. I think this is a perfect round for Chase Elliott. He won at Talladega earlier. Dover is one of his best racetracks, and not Chase Elliott, but Kansas can be a good run for him, as we saw the speed that the 9 car had at Las Vegas and some of the other mile and a halves that he usually has speed at. So pretty good round for Elliott. I'm pretty sure you're gonna get into the round of 8. If I had to pick, 4 drivers to miss out here, I think Ryan Blaney might miss out. I think Clint Bowyer will miss out. I think William Byron will miss out. And I'm actually going to go for Kyle Larson missing out as well. I think Alex Bowman might get in solely because of Talladega and Kansas, I think. But I don't know. I'm not sure about Larson. Still haven't seen enough from him yet, so I'm going to go with Larson getting out as well. At the end of the day, I don't know how you rate this race. I don't think it's rateable. It is just the funniest race. It is hilarious. So in that terms, it's a 10 out of 10. When you look at the more kind of integral parts of the sport, like consistency and race control. But that's not the point today. We all know this is an entertainment industry now, and that race was just incredibly entertaining. And so you had your entertaining winner who's literally doing burnouts exactly where he hit the goddamn wall. I mean, what a legend this guy is. God damn. I'm so proud of the boy. So proud. So yeah, that is the Charlotte Roval, guys. If you have, leave your comments below. I mean, that was hilarious. Sadly, I will say this. Sadly, Newman didn't make it through. I know we were all kind of rooting for Ryan Newman to make it to the Final Four and win the championship, but the luck ran out, and he didn't make it through, so that's really upsetting. So my pick reverts back. I'm going back to my driver, Chase Elliott, probably, and going to try to see if he gets to the Final Four. I don't think he will, but, disappointing there, but hell of a race. Comment down below, what do you guys think of everything that happened? Did I miss anything? I probably did miss a lot of things, to be honest, but this race, just too many things happened to really cover it all. So I'll let you guys take it over below. Twitter was hilarious today, by the way. I mean, I'm a clown. We all know that, but Twitter was hilarious today. So if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on there already, because it is funny when it comes to races. Follow me on Instagram as well if you're not already. Subscribe if you are new, and hit the like button on the video if you enjoyed it. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys for all the support lately on the channel. It's been really great having fun with the NASCAR Heat Series. Waiting to get back into iRacing when my chair comes in so I can actually race again, because this chair just gives me way too much back pain. I can't do it. So excited to get back on there. And yeah, excited to do more race reviews as we head into the end of the season. And just incredible race, incredible entertainment, and I don't know. But good luck to Dover following that one up. So I'll see you guys later. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Enjoy yourselves, and peace out. I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change, even if I tried.
My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm.